Hi, everyone. Welcome to Spill the Tea Radio, where we interview awesome singers, songwriters, and those who influence their lives. Spill the Tea Radio explores the journey, creativity, and inspiration behind the songs. My next guest was born in St. Martin and now lives in London, Ontario. He captivates his audiences with his signature island hip hop style, a vibrant fusion of Caribbean rhythms, Afro-soul, and Latin energy. From the humble beginnings of self-taught songwriting and rapping to earning awards like ECA's Best Hip Hop R&B Artist in 2023, his dedication to his craft is undeniable. So, let's spill the tea with Louis Engel, also known professionally as Big Lou. Welcome, Big Lou.
Hello, thank you.
You've you've got one heck of a pedigree that forms the type of music that you produce, including something that I haven't heard, a fusion of hip hop, R&B, and country, which we're going to hear today with the song we're going to feature. But let's talk about your background, Lou. Let's find out where all of this musical stuff comes from.
All
Your
right.
your mom is Venezuelan. Your father is from Curacao. So how did those two cultures, and you were born in Saint Martin, which is the you were born on the Dutch side of the island. So
Yeah,
how do all of those influences culminate in the kind of music that you produce today?
absolutely. Great question. Um, so growing up, we listened to a lot of music and we danced a lot, but like unofficially, never anything trained or professional for that matter. But we were constantly listening to gaitas during the Christmas holidays, so it's a traditional Venezuelan type of music. On Sundays, we would listen to a lot of classical type music, but throughout the week, we would listen to other kinds of bands that my parents would listen to, amongst their friends. And then with the radio, we were exposed to more North American kinds of sounds as well. So I suppose subconsciously I was taking in all of those different influences. And St. Martin itself is a very multicultural island, um, compared to a lot of the other islands in the Caribbean. I would say that like a lot of his culture is shaped around being so multicultural. And so that was a very normal thing for me growing up as well. And so I was just always adopting different perspectives that aren't traditional to very not to cultures that are less open, to cultures that are less exposed. And I try to carry that into the music that I create as well. And it's working. I'm meeting with a lot of different types of artists who have completely different writing processes and styles and approaches, and we're able to collaborate and create different kinds of experiences for ourselves and for the listener.
You were packaged up, you were taken to a new market at the age of 15 and put in a boarding school. What was that experience like for you? First of all, to be packaged up from a beautiful, warm climate like St. Martin, and I hope you arrived in the summertime in Newmarket, not in the middle of winter.
It was just the end of summer, August, end of August, so we're on the brisk of fall. And to me, that was already a huge adjustment. So I
Yes, it
wasn't fully
was.
prepared for that. Anything under 20 degrees is like, come on now. Um, um, but it was an interesting transition. I mean, I wasn't overly excited about the idea to leave home at the beginning. By no means was I kidnapped, but like I didn't tell my parents, hey, let's try and make up a plan to like get me to leave here because I definitely didn't want to leave. I like my whole life. I was 14 at the time, friends, sports, everything.
Mhm.
The beach. I didn't even see snow. Like snow was something you watched on television occasionally. So when we actually found out that, yeah, hey, it's time to go, um, it dawned on me. But the transition itself was it was smooth because there were two other students from different schools that ended up from St. Martin. So three of us from different schools in St. Martin ended up going to the same boarding school in Canada that same year. So it was a new experience for all of us. And of course, there are other boarding students going through a similar experience. So that was really cool. And I didn't miss home so much. The first week was, yeah, there's a transition, but like I was so preoccupied by the different things happening. And I was again curious by the different cultures around me, the different kinds of backgrounds that were now here experiencing the same shared experience. And then, school starts, the soccer season starts, it starts to get cold, and you're like, what the heck is all of this stimulation that I'm not used to? So it was beautiful. I think when I went home for Christmas break that first year, I told my parents, it's like, yeah, I'm not fully sold on this yet. But I went back, of course, you can't just like stop. And then when I went home for March break, I was lucky to go back home twice. But when I went home for March break, I told them, yeah, we made the right decision. I feel comfortable. Let's move forward with this. And so that was cool.
You were introduced to us by Barb Keck, who's responsible for the music in motion competition, which you participated in.
Shout out to
Tell us
Barb.
about that music in motion competition. How did you get involved with it, and what was the experience like?
Yeah, I big shout out to Barb. I attended a fet or a music conference in Kitchener. It must have been in June or July last year. And there I met one of the adjudicators that was associated with Music in Motion Canada. Uh, but obviously at the time I didn't realize that I was just going to network and do my thing. Actually got this water bottle from that event. And then so when I saw the Music in Motion Canada application or notice, I think it was through some kind of email newsletters that I receive. I clicked on it. I was like, what is this? Because I don't know, I try and do that every now and then to get my name out there. And I realized that I recognized one of the adjudicators. So I said, why not put together my application? I submitted it, did that whole thing, and there was a bit of back and forth going back or going between getting the application done. And I'm not gonna lie, there were a couple of times where I was like, I don't even know why I'm doing this. Like, what? I've never heard of this. It looks cool, but like I'm just putting it together. But eventually it got done. And I am the happiest person that it did actually come through to fruition because the experience since then was phenomenal. Not that that wasn't, but I ended up getting semi-finalists to begin with, which was really cool. And through that, I got access to a couple of perks, along with 22 other people. So there were 23 semifinalists this year. And then a couple of weeks later, I found out that I got third place out of everyone as well. And with that, oh, and crazy thing about the third place is that this year there were actually two third place finalists. So that was cool to have that shared experience with the other finalists slash semifinalists. But through that came more opportunities to then grow the Big Lou brand, which has been phenomenal. It's if I was to describe it, the tools and the resources and the opportunities that have come from it, it kind of feels like the independent artist that I am has been put in somewhat of a record label environment in terms of having access to the different resources uh, uh, and to trustworthy individuals as well. And people are actively like reaching out to provide me with the support. Obviously, there's some of me having to reach out and show up. That's part of growing the business, but there has been a lot of support being extended my way, and that's been truly beneficial. I've been speaking to a couple of people actually and telling them how impactful I feel like this has been towards my career so far. And there's a lot of opportunity still yet to unfold. I'm sure. I just can't speak of everything yet.
Big Lou, you've mentioned that you've been in the game now for about 5 years. That you've launched your music career. That in the in the scheme of things of in terms of people that have been in the business for 30, 40, 50 years, and they tell me what their challenges are today, even after being in the business for such a long period of time. What's the big challenge for you these days? What's the thing that you wake up each morning and say, man, oh man, oh man, I have to figure this one out.
Uh, well, how do you generate more money doing the thing that you love? Not necessarily with the least amount of effort, because I believe, you get energized doing the things that you love. And, I'm a big fan of rest as well. But that currently the main goal would be to accomplish full-time music, because that's not where I'm at currently. But then after that, how do you scale it even more? The ultimate goal would be to grow Big Lou as big as possible, even outside of music. And so we're working towards that, building that kind of foundation. But if we're looking at micro goals, I'm really interested in learning more about sync placements. We're working on a couple of different songs that have a lot of potential with that as well. Um, I think we might talk a little bit more about those ones in the future, but sync has really got my attention. And then I need to focus a little bit more on content, social media content, refining that, because if you can really do a lot of, I don't want to say damage, but you can throw a lot of weight around, and people pay attention a little bit more when there's people paying attention.
The name Big Lou. How did you come up with the name Big Lou? Because when people see you, you're not an overweight kind of guy, which you would think is going to be Big Lou. So I'm thinking, are you like 6'5"? People can't say, people meet me and say, "Oh, geez, I thought you were a lot taller." But so are you
Yeah,
like 6'5", 6'6"? How did you come up with the name Big Lou?
that's funny. No, I'm actually a full foot shorter than that. I think I'm 5'5". 5'5", 5'6", something like that. But for if we're being modest, it's because a lot of my life I felt small in terms of like being overseen and not rising to the occasion and that kind of thing. And so I built Big Lou as a persona to help me become the person that I see the potential within me. Um, and it's helped me get through some different kinds of things. I'm like, is that how Big Lou would handle the situation? Um, and and oftentimes it's no. It's similar to Sasha Fierce with Beyonce. That person takes over on stage, and it's empowering. So it's, I think, all the bigger qualities of mine amplified is who Big Lou is.
So we say Big Lou is your inner personality coming out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Big,
We're talking to Louis right now, but on the stage, you get Big Lou and all of that kind of stuff.
Let's get
Thank
into
you.
one of the songs that Big Lou wrote. This song was co-written with Kristen Renee. It combines Big Lou's island hip hop vibe and Kristen's country pop sound. Let's take a listen to
Yeah.
singer-songwriter Big Lou and his song, Life's a Ride.
Better be holding on to your shoulder bar real tight. Speaking from experience, life's one hell of a ride. Everything you know, it'll knock you around and make you wanna cry. Take heart knowing the depths you're going on, mirroring the highs. 'Cause life's a ride.
Had to swallow my pride. Screw joking, couldn't bear it any longer. Rise broken, one door closes, two open. Build it from the bottom now. That's motion, smooth and I'm silky now. That's lotion, ready for what comes at me now. That's potent, I'm done with the hope and I trust I am chosen. My inner child holds me, reminds me I'm not lonely. I will never give up on myself, no, not again. I'ma hold on to this life until the very end. Every breath I take is a win. Life is a journey, it's a hell of a ride. No matter your story, keep your eyes on the prize. Gotta seize the moment, gotta keep it moving forward. And all the real ones know life is a journey, it's a hell of a ride. No matter your story, keep your eyes on the prize. Gotta seize the moment, gotta keep it moving forward. Hey, and all the real ones know.
Better be holding on to your shoulder bar real tight. Speaking from experience, life's one hell of a ride. Everything and now it'll knock you around and make you wanna cry. Take heart knowing the depths you're going on, mirroring the highs. Yeah, life's a ride.
It's like
Rolling down the highway, no stop signs in my way. Easier to chase them dreams with green lights all the way. Keep up that persistence, the path of least resistance. Feels real good till it's understood that nothing good comes easy. Lock it down, straighten up your crown, step by step, just like a hold down. Woo!
life is a journey, it's a hell of a ride. No matter your story, keep your eyes on the prize. Gotta seize the moment, gotta keep it moving forward. Yeah, and all the real ones know. Life is a journey, it's a hell of a ride. No matter your story, keep your eyes on the prize. Gotta seize the moment, gotta keep it moving forward. Hey, and all the real ones know.
Better get ready, be holding on to your shoulder bar real tight. Speaking from experience, life's one hell of a ride. Everything and now it'll knock you around and make you wanna cry. Take heart knowing the depths you're going on, mirroring the highs, yeah. Baby, holding on to your shoulder bar real tight. Speaking from experience, life's one hell of a ride. Everything and now it'll knock you around and make you wanna cry. Take heart knowing the depths you're going on, mirroring the highs, yeah, life's a ride.
That was Life's a Ride by Big Lou. Big Lou, what's that song about and what was the inspiration to write it?
The song itself, Life's a Ride, is about um, going through those emotions, those highs and lows that we will inevitably encounter throughout our lifetimes. And no matter at what point in our lives either, you know, kids have highs and lows, seniors do as well. And it's a matter of taking those, holding on, and experiencing the ride. A nice visual I like to allocate towards it as well is if you take a slide and just angle it down perfectly like so, and you have a ball at the top and you roll it down, it'll get down inevitably. But if you have another ramp, the same angle, but there's highs and lows, there's ups and downs, so it's actually a further distance that you're covering. You drop that ball, it'll go up and down, it'll get to the bottom faster, and you'll have a story to tell, a better story to tell. And so that's what we're trying to capture in our Life's a Ride in terms of throwing in the different sounds and the different feelings and textures. It's a ride.
Well, it's a fun song to listen to, especially that fusion of hip hop and country. Lou, how do people find out more about you? What is the website, the socials, and the streaming platforms?
It's all nice and clean. My website is www.bigloucrew.com, bigloucrew.com, and then all of my handles would be at Big Lou Crew as well. If you just went to bigloucrew.com, you can find all those social links. Spotify is Big Lou, Apple Music's Big Lou, YouTube is all those things. Just Google it, Big Lou. And if it's not popping up, it means I'm not working hard enough.
We have been in conversation with Big Lou. Lou, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, David.
I'ma hold on to this life until the very end. Every breath I take is